Powered by Riverside FM.
What if the darkest conspiracies in fiction are rooted in the terrifying realities of our world? This week, we're pulling back the curtain with author Angie Van Cise. We'll discuss the chilling secrets and decades-old crimes at the heart of her dark thriller, Hidden in the Shadows, and then transition to the brutal, shocking truth of human trafficking, a billion-dollar industry that hides in plain sight. This is a critical episode about the real monsters among us and the urgent truths that you need to know. Tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. 2 words and 2 question marks.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
Man, this woo, man, I messed up there. Did you catch that?
I did.
I did, yeah.
That's
You were
right.
just being a little prophetic. You wanted to say this has been a great episode, knowing
Dude.
it would be before it's even happened.
Dude, I have a vision, a gift.
There you go.
And that is why. Brett,
That is your superpower.
What is it?
how are you?
I'm tired.
I am so blown away that Brett is here tonight.
Absolutely.
So
What do you
many
mean
times-
blown away? I haven't missed an episode in, I would say,
Long time.
5 weeks. Which is a pretty long time for me, to be honest.
It is.
I almost
pretty-
did miss. I was very, like, my kids got sick. They were throwing up all over the place. Truly was sick. So I had to, like, clean up, throw up for a whole day.
Plus, you were sick in there.
And then, after everybody was better, I got sick. So then
I sucked it all up to come be with us.
Freaking kids are petri dishes, dude. If they can see it, taste it, smell it, they're bringing it home.
And I got 4, so they just recycle it.
Yeah.
So.
Jerry,
Yep, that they do. Yes, Mr.
I'm
Steve.
so excited that you're here tonight.
You are.
Yeah,
So am I.
good.
I always love to see you when you're drinking
I don't
lots
know-
of wine.
I don't know what you speak of. I've had a couple of glasses
Couple
of
glasses, yeah.
fine, wonderful wine.
There you go.
And hopefully, we're going to have a guest who produces very local wine very soon.
Absolutely. You want to tell them what we're drinking tonight?
Old favorite, Barefoot Fruscato.
Fruscato.
Blueberry.
Is Barefoot here in Kentucky? Like always, is Purple Toad is the one.
Purple frog. Purple frog.
Oh, it's Purple Toad.
I think it is
I
purple.
don't think I've ever
I'm not
had
even a
one.
wine drinker, and I know that.
Why do you not drink wine?
I just don't like it. It also doesn't agree with me. I get
You drink
weird
that.
drunk on it.
You drink that weird bourbon stuff. Oh,
No, the weird.
guess what?
What?
The thing Kentucky's famous.
Yeah.
Guys, we got an amazing guest tonight. I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to get to it. It's a hard topic tonight. If you have children, grab them,
don't listen to this.
hold them tight. Listen to this episode when they're not around.
Yeah.
It's just tough subjects. It's not language,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
no.
tough material that we're going to be covering.
It's very adult material and very call to action material. You need to be aware of it, and we want you to talk about it. I'm excited about it. But you know what I'm not excited about?
What is that?
I had a detective earlier today
Show up?
knock on my door.
No.
Oh yeah.
Sure did. Said he was looking for a man with one eye.
One eye.
Yeah. I said, you know, if you use both eyes, you'd probably find him faster.
That's very good advice.
I like that.
Thank you, Brett.
Logical.
Brett, you are my favorite now.
Yeah.
Does this mean he's going to get his name on the banner?
No.
Oh, well, guess you're not that person.
Listen, we joke about that stuff all the time. But the truth is, we would have to change the website.
I'm all for it. It's a lot less pressure, I think.
There you go.
It's less pressure.
There you go. Okay. Well, we love you.
Yes, we do.
Everybody, don't just because Brett's name's not on the we
Banner.
literally have a spot for him even when he's not here.
Yeah.
You know, we don't slide into your seat. That's your seat, Brett.
There you go.
So
And Steve has also promised that if you're a really good boy, he's going to take a magic marker and add you to the banner.
no, we gotta put the tape on first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That way, when he's not a good boy,
Brett.
you can rip that tape right
I
back
see.
off.
Yeah,
That would actually be really fun.
that's cool.
Oh man, I was sitting this morning drinking coffee in my slippers.
Oh, you have slippers. You look very young for slippers.
Well, then I thought maybe I should wash some mugs.
No,
I was drinking coffee out of the slippers, in my slippers.
no,
Coffee in my slippers. Then I thought,
that's gross.
you know what? You're too drunk for me to tell that joke.
No, I get it. It was fantastic.
I don't think he got it. He hasn't started snorting yet, so he probably didn't get it.
That was really good. I was having coffee out of my slippers. I love it. Reminds me of old Greg.
Yeah.
You ever drank Bailey's from a shoe?
Oh, Greg, man, that's a
That's a classic. Jerry doesn't know what we're talking about, and that's because he's not. Cool.
You've never seen it?
I've
You know,
never
I think that you guys are actually the ones who introduced me to that, to be fair.
I'm old Greg.
And then, like, I watched it a million times with Trilly. And so we would always, like, say, dude, we're
Make
going
an
to watch that one.
assessment.
We're just going to watch that on the podcast.
Jerry,
Jerry
Yes.
reacts to old Greg.
what do you think of me?
What
Do
do
you,
I think of
do
you?
you like me?
I think you would. I'll tell you. I want to sober up before I tell him what I think of him. He'll never remember it if I tell him.
Playing the love games?
They love
no,
games
would you?
with me.
I got the
That, that
Those
scared the hell
people
out of me.
who created old Greg are effing brilliant. I just love them. Love them. And Bobby Possum Cods. I'm sure you remember that.
Mm-mm. I don't know what that
Really?
is.
I'm sure Josh showed you Bobby Possum Cods
No, I
got
never seen
methamphetamine.
it. No, I've never seen it.
I'll show you right after the show.
Okay.
It's going to be hilarious. And I apologize for increased libido.
That's way too much.
You have to watch the video to
No,
understand
no.
it.
Apparently, I don't. Pretty sure I never will. No. So, did I tell you guys I was engaged to a girl with a wooden leg?
What?
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
crap.
I was till I broke it off. Just saying. Let me get ready. I think he's gonna snort. No, he didn't.
That was great. I'll give you credit.
Did you like that? You give me what?
He'll give you credit.
Credit? Not for sure what credit is, but thank you.
Shut
I appreciate it.
heads.
How are you going to conduct this interview when you're state?
Dude, I'm great. I'm good. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Tonight,
do it.
we have Angie. Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I forgot earlier. I'm sorry. Better late than never.
Let's do a quick poll. If you were out there in listener land,
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
I will cut
You're breaking out.
both of you. If you like hearing Jerry's rapper, or every time Jerry's dog goes out to take a leak, or Brett's water bottle,
You can
Or
text, you can
Jerry's
email us.
train.
You can email us at
no, that's my train.
newsworthywithstephenjerry@gmail.com or go to our website,
There you
which
go.
is newsworthywithstephenjerry.com.
Dot
That's right.
com.
.com.
Guys, we have Angie Van Cise tonight. I'm super stoked for this video or this interview. It's going to be amazing. Angie is a knowledgeable author, multi-award winner.
We've had her on before.
We've had her on before. We are honored to have her back. I can't say enough good things about Angie. So let's get
Let's
to
bring
it.
her on.
Let's do it. Angie Van Cise, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be back.
We are so excited to have you back, even through all the hiccups in the beginning. But
Us?
this
Surely not.
we self-publish, so there you go. We don't have a producer.
So, Angie, we had you on before, and this time you said you came bearing great news. So,
Yeah, we're excited to hear
We're
what your
excited.
news.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so I just found out last week that Hidden in the Shadows won the New York City Big Book Award for horror. So that's
That's
two
awesome.
it's won
that's
now.
awesome.
Congratulations.
We need the
Award.
where's the applause?
Oh,
Yeah. So
That's-
I was
awesome.
quite blown away. Yeah.
As well you should be.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
with that award, is it like so? Basically, so each genre gets like one book for the whole year, and I guess all the books in that genre get entered for this award. Or
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
That's
it's-
a huge honor.
Yeah, thank you. I had to read it a couple of times to make sure, but there's an awards dinner in April that I'm going to go to, and yeah, it felt pretty good.
It
I'm not
should.
going to lie.
I mean, we were talking to a different person a couple of weeks ago, and there was something like 5 million books published every year, 2.5 to 5 million books published a year in the world. To get
Yeah.
any award is phenomenal, and you've gotten gobs at
Like
this
huge.
point.
Yeah.
Well, what makes me the happiest, honestly, is the fact that maybe the world is finally ready to hear this story, especially the literary world, because a lot of that world shuts it down.
Yeah.
And so to win these really gives me hope that now the world is opening their ears and their eyes to this underground horridness that's been going on for years and years and years. So that's more what I was excited about. I mean, it's hard work writing a book. It's not an easy thing to do. So to be awarded for that is obviously, in my heart, but the bigger picture for me is the fact that they're recognizing that this is something that needs to be told.
Right.
That brings to mind something that I saw that you had said once about the book. You said that you wanted to give a voice to the victims of satanic rituals and child trafficking.
Yes.
Congratulations. This award means that your voice just got a lot larger.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like what you were saying, like people are becoming more, I guess, willing to hear these stories. Obviously, it's an uncomfortable topic. I told my wife today what we were talking about, and she's she gives to like the Tim Tebow Foundation, which I guess focuses on child trafficking and things like that, and so she's come involved. But she was like, "Man, that's going to be a tough episode." Just talking about that
Tough
in
subject.
general. Yeah, and even what was the guy who played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ? He just came out with a movie, a year or two ago, on child trafficking.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard of it.
Amazing.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah. And so things like that are changing, and hopefully this will bring more awareness to people that, hey, this is going on. And like I think now there's more slaves in the world than when slavery was legal back in the 1800s.
So
Agreed.
if the listeners haven't picked up on it already, this really isn't our genre, but it's a topic that is too, every once in a while we'll diverge and we'll cover a topic that needs to be covered because we have a means to cover it and therefore an obligation to cover it.
Absolutely.
And Angie has joined us here because her book, although fiction, rails right beside what we're going to be talking tonight. And we appreciate you coming in for talking about such a not a pleasant thing to talk about, obviously. But human trafficking is one of those things that happens in every single community in the United States and around the world. If you think that it's not happening in your community, you're wrong. Period. The numbers verify that. The numbers say that. And unfortunately, as Jerry was talking before we went on live, 74% of people are local, and even more are actually somebody who is known to the family. So we're going to get into all that here in just a minute. Angie, when you were writing this book, what was your when you decided, hey, I want to talk into human trafficking. I want to start this process because your book is very unsettling. Let's just be blunt. Some of the parts in it are factually correct, but very unsettling. And you're like, that's what I want to write about today as you're sitting there. How does that process start?
It started from listening to the victims, the survivors, and those who didn't survive, listening to their horrific experiences, and knowing that half the world wasn't listening, more than half the world wasn't listening. To see the pain and agony on their face, how hard it must have been to come out and talk about what they had endured. And then to have people, in the comment section say, no, you're lying. I don't believe you. Why would you make this up? Broke my heart. It literally broke my heart because this topic is so hard to discuss, but imagine going through it. Imagine being that child going through it and seeing other children being murdered, other children and animals being sacrificed, and surviving that. And then coming out saying, listen, maybe this happened to me because I need to be an advocate. I need to say blah, blah, blah. And then being told, no, you're crazy. So that guided my passion behind it was those, I can still see their faces in my mind's eye now. And that's, and as I started to go down the path, it's funny, when you're on the right path, the universe provides. I always find that when you're trying to diverge, it always knocks you back. And every single time that I just kind of wanted to throw in the towel and say, I can't, this is too hard, there'd be something that would land in my computer or land on my desk or land in my inbox that would propel me forward again. And it would always interject those thoughts. And I'd be like, nope, I'm ready. I'm going to do this. And people that know me as a human being and have read that book said that you wrote that. Yeah, I did. And I wrote it from a space of the survivors. I told their stories because I didn't make any of that up. The Charlie chapters, I made none of it up. It's all real testimonies from what I encountered.
Wow.
And I'm sure even, as your book gets more notoriety, those people, their voice, like those stories, even though, their names aren't specifically attached to them, I mean, it's getting told. People are hearing of what happened to them, and kind of what we're talking about. When you turn on the news, it's all, oh, well, this politician's doing this and this politician's doing that and this bill isn't getting passed because of this guy's holding it up, and it's all like back and forth. We're just trying to, but you never hear about, oh, well, this person was just rescued from human trafficking, or this human trafficking ring was just uncovered in so-and-so city. You don't hear any of that.
Well,
No.
that's because those files are still unheard of. There's nothing to see there on the Epstein files. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing to see.
So I think it's important for us to take a step back and just, what is the actual definition of human trafficking? Just so that everybody's clear. Human trafficking is defined as the exploitation of individuals through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of forced labor or commercial sex acts, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Human trafficking, also known as trafficking in persons, is a crime that involves compelling or coercing a person to provide labor or services or to engage in commercial sex acts. Coercion can be subtle, overt, psychological, or even physical. I just wanted to be so everybody knows what we're talking about, because some of the stats are going to blow your mind. If you don't mind, Angie, do you care for me to say what the human toll is on the world? This is going to blow people away, I think.
No, go ahead. I already know what it is. But
Yeah. So, estimated victims, and now they estimate these based on the cases that have come forward and on the cases that they think where there's not been an opportunity to come forward.
Because many we know are not reported.
Right.
Many.
Estimated victims worldwide, according to Microsoft, 49.6 million people are currently trapped in some sort of modern slavery. 27.6 million in forced labor, 22 million in some sort of forced marriage. And that doesn't even get into just the slavery of the sex slaves. Just wow.
it's a multi-trillion-dollar business. I mean, you can sell cocaine, but once it's sold, it's sold. You need to get more cocaine. But you can sell a child or a woman or a man over and over and over that same day, right? And the next day and the next day and the next day.
Right.
So it's a money-making endeavor. And I swear to God, every single thing that goes on in our world is a distraction from this. This is at the top. This is at the very top.
When I started digging in this for research for this show, I can't say I disagree with you.
Yeah.
Just as an example, the sexual exploitation, 79% of all the victims are sexual victims, is what, according to the world stats. Women and girls is 90% of that, but not all.
No.
And that is $150 billion enterprise every year.
It's a lot of money, like she was saying.
Annual profits. Forced labor, 18% is what they say, and they say that's vastly underreported. Because there are governments that use forced labor, and those people count too.
17 different countries was on. They have to come out with a annual list. I have that somewhere. And the United States government for the 2025 listed 17 countries who were involved in state-sponsored human trafficking for forced labor, whether it's soldiers or other.
63% of those people are men, obviously, for labor and soldiering, if you will. Agriculture, construction, domestic, and armies, wage depression and wage theft is 10 to 33% of that. So meaning, hey, I'm going to pay you, and then I'm not going to pay you, and you're stuck. Combined another 3%, that's children, migrants, and these are people that they put on. If you've ever pulled up to a corner street, you see some kids begging for money, that's these people, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Scams, begging, orphans, family involvement, 50% of child cases. 50% of all children cases involve some sort of relative. I would cut somebody. I'm just saying.
Well, in many cases, and sadly, unless you're a Liam Neeson who's willing to go to another country to find, you remember the movie where they had kidnapped his daughter? Yeah. You might have to go to some other part of the world to be able to find the people to cut them.
Well, if your numbers hold, I can find the local person, and they can send the message.
Well, even like
the other aspect. Sorry, Brett.
No, go
the
ahead.
other aspect to this too is that within the organization, they also have donor mothers. So these donor mothers are 13 and up to maybe 16, and they give birth to these sacrificial babies. that never ever have a name, never ever have a record. So those are recorded people. But how many of these donor mothers, and they give birth to more than just one child in those 3-4 years, sometimes the babies are sacrificed for harvesting the organs, sometimes they're sacrificed for the blood, sometimes they are groomed to become a sex slave. It depends on who the donor mother is and where they've come from and what they do with them. So not only are those facts and figures for registered people, but how many aren't
So
registered?
you're saying, and just let me be clear, you're saying that they will steal somebody's child. They will bring them in. They will do whatever they got to do to brainwash, manipulate, coerce. They will
Correct.
use them as breed stock for a
Yes.
total group of people that we will never see their face, know their name. They don't even know their name, just
Yep.
for continued purposes.
To continue the cycle.
100%.
Freaking believable. That makes my stomach turn. I mean,
Yeah.
how is this not on everybody's radar?
That's what I don't understand. And when I try to talk about it with certain people, they're like, "You're just a conspiracy theorist." No, yes, maybe, but this is happening. And the more honestly, when I started, I tried to debunk it. I tried to find everything I could to make it not happen and not be true. And the more I dug, the more I found. And the more I saw. And I don't know whether you've ever heard of the Hampstead kids. They were two, sorry?
Enlighten us. Tell us.
Okay, they were, I saw all of their testimony. They were two children out of England who attended this private school. And Wednesdays were called sex days. I won't get into a lot of the details because I know some of the listeners are not probably old enough to handle the details. But these children, you can look them up and you can listen to their testimonials. But their dad was actually involved. He worked at the school. Now, they had physical proof that these children had been molested from the doctor. The mother was made to look like an idiot, and they told the court system said that she planted all of this information in her children's brains so that they would go to the mom and not go to the dad. And the judge actually sent them with the dad. And things were happening in the school. Like they killed babies. They did sacrifices in this room. Like the detail these kids give is unbelievable. There's no way that the mother could have had them make this up. And the way that they were talking horrified me because it was just like, everybody does this, right? Like this is just what happens.
You're saying that was in England?
Yes.
See, that's the thing is like, even like when you brought up the movie Taken,
Right.
it's like, well, they went to a different country and that's where it happened. Like it would never happen here, but like England's just like America. Like,
Yeah.
it, like you were saying, it's happening in every community.
It happens right here in Lawrenceburg. And that's unfortunate. That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
When
Yeah.
as someone who has a little bit of knowledge as far as so when I was very young, I worked on farms and did a lot of farm labor, and it was during that time that they were really big on making sure if you had Hispanic gentlemen coming to work your farm, you had to provide a few things for them. You had to provide a home, a stable place to live, and it could be a mobile home. It could be, a cabin, if you will, but it had to have running water. It had to have electricity. It had to have some sort of air conditioning or heating system. You had to provide a living wage for them, minimum wage at minimum. You had to provide food for them. There was a lot of boxes you had to check. And I always thought back then, and I was like, man, they got it pretty good. But what I didn't understand is, how do I put this? Even that level of very minimalistic, what they had to provide for these people was so much better than what they had back home that they would bring other people with them that wasn't documented, that could get just a
Yes.
taste of that could stay with you. And then those people became the problem. Not, and that's a bad way of putting it. Those people became the people that were abused because they no longer were documented. They weren't protected by our own rules about how you were supposed to bring somebody in. So they got less wages. They got less sanitary conditions. They got less of everything, basically.
Along with those rules that you're talking about, that same law required one more thing, that you couldn't hold their passport and keep them hostage, which is one of
Right.
the biggest ways worldwide that many of these people end up in this situation. They travel to another country for a job, their passport will be taken, and they are at that point captive. They can't go anywhere. They're going to be thrown into jail or prison. And that was something, sadly, that American farmers were doing to some of the Mexican migrants that they were using on their farms before those laws were passed.
Yeah.
Sadly, even though those laws are passed, there's some people that still do that. Even more sad, in many countries, those laws don't exist. So those things still happen,
I
which
worked
just
for
allows more human trafficking to go on.
I actually was very blessed. I worked for a very modern farmer. He was the first to have, and Angie, I don't mean to get too far off topic, but he was the first to have hydroponic plants for tobacco. He was the first to use mobile irrigation systems. He was one of the first to use all the new stuff to come. So he was on board, and he would actually go to bat for several of these people to get their green card renewed, and there were so many that weren't. And I remember, and I'm sure he's passed by now, but I remember him railing against people who would abuse the system,
Yep.
and then by doing so, abuse the people that were working for him.
It
Disgusting.
happens more often than we think. And like, I think one of the points you're making is this is not something, as Brett was saying, that happens overseas. This happens
No.
here, not only here, but
Yeah.
in our own communities.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause you've been to Mexico. I
Yeah.
mean, you've seen the conditions that
Oh,
people,
yeah.
people over there live in, and it's and yeah, I would believe that is definitely happening over there. I mean, they don't even have the houses I've seen. They don't have windows and doors. I mean, it's just like a concrete block.
The one thing that they do over there in most of your South Africa or South American countries is they build their house one room at a time. As they can, you'll see most of their houses will have a bit of building supplies in the front yard. And as they get enough to build a room, they'll build a room. I mean, it's not like here when we pay or Canada, you buy a house, you buy a whole house.
Yeah.
There, you're lucky to scratch out a piece of land and you just start building as you can with what you can. But-
You just, sorry, I'm
No,
didn't
go
mean to
ahead.
interrupt. You were just talking, and it's terrible when the adult migrant workers are abused. It's horrible when anyone gets abused. It's far worse with the storyline in Angie's book. She talks about when trafficking begins to intersect with foster care, young children. That's when it gets really sad.
Dude, I can't, as a foster parent, I can't
Yes,
tell you
absolutely.
how angry I would be.
Oh, sure.
We would have these meetings, Angie. I used to foster. We stopped it a few years ago when my youngest son graduated and moved on. But we fostered for what, 5, 7
Several
years,
years.
something like
Wow,
that.
yeah.
Several years. We did almost 20 kids.
Wow.
But when you would go to these meetings with all the other foster parents for like continuing education and stuff of that nature, you could tell the parents who cared about the kids and the parents who were there just there to collect an
check.
extra paycheck. Because they wouldn't have a clue what even size shoes the kids wore. And I'm like, why are you allowed to do this? And the answer was always the same. Because they have a roof.
Yeah.
And
There wasn't a better choice.
there wasn't a better choice. And it just absolutely breaks your heart for the children. I mean,
That
breaks
does.
your heart for the children.
That does.
Can you imagine
this?
having a young lady as breed stock?
Yes.
So, Angie, can you get into some of the things that, and this is going to be a hard part of the topic, I'm sure, but if we can accept in our mind's eye what a few young ladies are there just to breed, like livestock, what do those children have to go through? What are they breeding for? Where are those kids going? What do we need to look out for?
A lot of the times they're breeding for harvesting. So they sell organs as well on the black market. They get, I don't know, something like $11,000 for a lung. They'll sell eyes, they'll sell livers, hearts, whatever. So some of these babies are just being born to go right into that. Other ones are being born to be groomed to be the future donor or the future recruiter. Some of them, like Haiti and Mexico and those kinds of places, they'll go and they'll pose as somebody who can give their children a better life. And they take the children, the parents think they've gone to have a better life, and they end up in this circle. They'll often use very scary tactics to brainwash these children. They'll use, them having to sacrifice a pig or a dog or a baby itself, or they'll make them watch. And then they'll say, this will happen to you if you do not obey. They also turn them into stars. They promise them the world. And they'll even have a magazine already, like Annika Lucas, the one I mentioned in the last podcast that I did with you guys. She was told she was going to be a famous French singer. They hired the best vocal coaches they could hire for her. They brought in magazines with her picture already on the front of them, showing her what a big star she already was going to be. All she had to do was ... So this is the way that they do it. So depending on, they'll have activists. So they'll have climate activists, they'll have government activists, they'll have people out there doing these BLM riots and things, that they're all trained for this purpose. And the one thing that I didn't know, that I found out after I wrote the book, was I was watching this podcast. I can't remember the gentleman's name now. It was Nick something. Anyway, he was passed on to me from somebody. And I listened to one of his podcasts, and there was a doctor on there who had been working with these survivors for many, many, many years. And this one in particular, he'd been working with for 20 years. And what he exposed for me was that they actually create multiple personality disorder in these children. So they will create different personas for what they need that child to be doing. And he worked with this one victim for over 20 years. They had code words. So they would say the code word and then they'd turn into whatever personality they wanted them to be. So he was a professor, and he asked her if she could come in one of his lectures, because he wanted to show, and have her explain to these students what was going on. Well, because he'd been working with her for 20 years, he didn't think that the code word would have any effect. So he gave it. And all of a sudden she went completely blank and just stood there and said, "I'm ready for sex now." And he felt so bad because he didn't realize it had that much of a hold. Luckily, he knew the word to bring her back out. But he said, I just felt so bad that I had created that in her again after all this time of therapy. I didn't realize they were doing that. They being the organization that does all this. So that was kind of a shock to me that they create this in children. I mean, that's how good they are at mind control. You look at Justin Bieber and Britney Spears and these actors and actresses that seemingly have lost their brain. They've gone crazy. Well, that's also part of when they come out of the mind control. That's a part of it. They'll go crazy.
There's so many questions I have.
Well, it's like I was wanting to bring up like just the porn industry. Like obviously that's huge especially, I mean, I know it's across the world, but here in America. And obviously,
Yeah.
politicians are kind of using it as like a kind of a pawn, like, oh, we're going to get rid of porn in this state, or, Pornhub in this state. But like back in 2020, I think Pornhub, they removed like over 10,000 videos on like majority of their videos because there was somebody that was under 18 in those videos, and there was
Yeah.
a lot of allegations that most of them, if not all of them, were you know were
Victims
sex
of
slaves, right?
trafficking.
And even the porn stars who, like, if you listen to some of those who've gotten out of that atmosphere, like they said,
Mhm.
basically once you're in it, I mean, it's you're essentially a slave to that line of work, to those people, and they basically own you. So it's scary to think of how. I mean, you just realizing how common this is.
What's even more scary about that is that it can happen to your own child,
Yeah.
and you don't
Yes.
even, you know, I a child going missing that's known is scary, and it puts a neighborhood or a community on notice, and it makes people like wake up. But some of these children are never known,
Mm-mm.
and that I can't describe how bad that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, if the girls are what they're looking for sex or for to continue the breed patterns or whatever you want to call it, I hate to keep saying that, but that I don't know a better word for it. Husbandry, if you will, if you want to be real
Mhm.
technical. But what happens to the boys if they don't need boys at this moment? You know, I just
You mentioned husbandry in certain parts of the world. That's exactly what they're doing. They're kidnapping young girls and forcing them to be
Yeah.
the wife to some.
literally saw a video the other day of a gentleman in Pakistan or India, or take your pick,
Somewhere
one
in
of
that
those
part of the country.
countries,
Mhm.
of a 63-year-old man married to a 12-year-old, and she was pregnant. And I was like, are you effing kidding me?
Oh,
Pardon
Yeah.
my French,
No.
but
So
it brings
true.
out the worst in me.
yeah.
It really does. And so back to your earlier question about what, sort of motivates me to write this, it's that right there. That. When I picture these kids I want to save them all. I just, and I think we start with awareness, because the more people that become aware, the less it's going to be able to happen. They've got tunnels underground where they do experiments on these children. They've got tunnels where they take them from one continent to another. Like you know, it's just literally been underground for way too long. And the people involved, people will always say to me, there's no way. Okay, well, how? How does over 3 million children that are being trafficked every year, how is that happening without big people involved? How? How?
So, are there any
Explain that.
organizations that you've seen that are doing, like, are uncovering these, or are rescuing these kids? Because I know for me, it's like, but obviously awareness is a big deal. But what do we do beyond awareness? Like, once we've,
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I was getting ready to say right before you started. I'm going to give it now, and I'm going to give it several times during the show. The National Human Trafficking Hotline is 1-888-373-7888, or you can text 233-733. If you have any inkling that this is happening and you've seen it, call them, text them. If it's wrong, oh well, you're wrong. They would much rather hear that you're wrong than you potentially walk in on something. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Angie. I just wanted to get that number out, and I'm going to get that out about 3 or 4 times during the show. I think it's
Good.
important.
I think that's really important. The one thing to look for, they always use symbols. So, say you are somebody who is inclined to want children and you're heading to Australia. You then look up certain foundations, children's foundations, that have the symbols. And when you see those symbols, you know that you can then call them and use the code words and arrange for a meetup. So moving forward, when I was looking for certain organizations that were actually not participating and really helping, that's the one thing I would look for. And these are FBI documented symbols. They're not just, oh, okay, somebody put it on the internet. They're actually documented by the FBI. So there's a spiral, and you'll see them all on Disney shows, by the way. They put them in behind, they're subliminally everywhere. But there's this spiral, and that's little boy lover. Then there's a triangle within a triangle, that's boy lover. There's a heart, and within a heart, that's girl lover. And then there's a butterfly, and the butterfly is anything goes. So you can look those up. You can actually say pedophile symbols documented by the FBI, and you'll see them. And once you see that, you will see them everywhere. It's unbelievable. But now that they're coming out a little bit, I don't know whether you guys ever heard of Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course.
Jerry and I went round and round a bit, Pizzagate.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's been debunked, right? But I don't know if you just saw the picture that Justin Bieber put up, but he's got his son with him, and he's got a piece of pizza on the side of his face, blocking his face. I mean, he's tried to make it very aware that this is a thing. There was a place called Comet Pizza in Washington. James Alefantis owned it. And their logo was that triangle. Shortly after, Liz Coates, I forget how you pronounce her last name, but she was the person that exposed Pizzagate first and foremost. She's on the documentary called Out of Shadows. It gets into a lot of this, but she's the one who uncovered the pizza symbols, like the hot dog, the pizza, the extra sauce, all of those symbols that come along with it. But oddly enough, after that all came out, his logo changed, and it wasn't that symbol anymore. But if you get a hold of any of his tweets from back in the day, they are disgusting. They're utterly disgusting. James Alefantis, his tweets, just gross. So, there are the symbols everywhere. There are organizations that have them. There are children's foundations that have them. They will be their downfall because people are noticing more and more, these symbols. And I don't know how many employees from Disney have been charged with child trafficking. Thousands.
Well, wasn't there something, I mean, this might have been just, I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard that at Disney World, they were like, the kids who went missing, they were like funneling them in like underground and
Yes.
selling them in the, that just blows. I mean, I've been to Disney World with my kids, obviously, and just thinking about that happening is insane.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
do you think that this is such a hard topic to wrap my head around.
I know.
With the people that they have to breed already, why risk stealing additional children? Why not just keep that? And I am not saying that is an appropriate thing. Okay.
No, of course not.
But why would they go through the risk of taking additional children outside of that?
Well, I mean, I wish I could answer that, and I don't really know exactly why. But the only thing I can think of is numbers. They just wouldn't have the numbers.
Yeah.
And they'd need outside stock to keep they really love AB negative and AB positive blood. That's
Weird.
one thing that they really. It's rare, and they feel that by drinking that blood, then they become closer to their worshiper, which is obviously Lucifer, and that they can become more enlightened and more intuitive, all of that. They believe that AB and positive and negative blood is ascendants from aliens. So that's why they will capture a lot of the kids that have AB and AB negative blood. And they can't always reproduce that. So that's where they determine who gets to be sacrificed and who gets to be kept.
According to 2022 data, the country with the most victims initially is Pakistan with 26,539. Now, this is 2022 data. It's now 2025. I'm sure
Yeah.
the numbers haven't gone down.
No.
Followed by the United States at 16,390. I would like to know, in a country, I can't speak, I can't speak to Pakistan, but I can speak to America. In America, you have a local police department, a sheriff's office, a state police office, and this is anywhere you go in the country. You have, once you get past those three, then you have the FBI, and it becomes a federal thing. How in the world are 16,390 people disappearing without a trace in America?
Not to mention all the cameras.
Right.
I mean, you're always on camera. You're always getting listened to in some way. So it's
the next two countries, India and Nigeria, followed by Italy. Italy, I think, would be a lot like America. How does that happen?
I think it's what she was kind of saying. There has to be people who are high up with a lot of money, a lot of influence, who are involved in this.
And almost always, every single victim said they were raped by the police officer before they were taken to where they were supposed to be.
As
Judges
someone who
involved
has a
as-
son that's a police officer, I would cut him. And I'm
Sure.
very proud to think that I don't think that would ever be the case. Nick would throw down with somebody over a child.
You see, and that's the thing, right? Like, most of the police officers are really good, but the ones that are involved with the judges and the lawyers and they even have doctors on staff so that the children are not taken to the local hospitals to be reported of abuse. They have nurses and doctors in the underground tunnels. They have nurses and doctors in their organizations that will sew up these children.
Angie, you're
because they
driving me
can't
to
take
drink.
them to the hospital. I know, sorry.
Sorry. I'm not complaining. It's a good thing, but
It's not a good thing, but
it's a good thing for me tonight. That's the only way I'm going to sleep. I'm just saying. Jerry, you're being
And
awful
that
quiet.
is how those numbers become so large, right?
listening.
Because you have these people that are involved that are big time people. They have lawyers on staff, judges on staff, police on staff. So these kids can literally be ushered with nobody seeing because they know how to do it. They know where to take them. Those underground tunnels that you spoke of in Disney, they're everywhere. They are everywhere.
and so,
In every country.
it's like recently, obviously America's been talking about the whole Epstein Island and how there's no list, or there's no data that saying that he actually did anything. Which, if that's the case, why was he even in jail?
Right.
But so what do you think when you see that? I mean, because for me, and I'm not as in the know. I mean, you're telling me stuff I've never even heard of. I knew it was prevalent, but not this prevalent. Like all the symbols and things like that. Like, so what do you think when you see something like that going on? And it's like, well, it's like hot news for a week, and then nobody talks about it.
Right. Personally, so the other aspect of this is, if you want to be anybody, get anywhere in life, be famous, whatever, you have to partake. And you are videotaped every single time. Because if you go to speak, well, listen what comes out, right? That's why they throw Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy under the bus, because they either were going to speak or they have to release a little bit so the people don't go up in arms and say, okay, what is happening, right? So by not releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, there's either A, something that could be released on the people who are going to release the Epstein files, or B, they are protecting other people within that organization. Because we all know that there is Epstein files. We all know that. I mean, I've seen some of the flight logs myself. You can go on WikiLeaks and get that information. So the fact that they're withholding it, I think there is either a collateral held over their head somewhere about something, or, we haven't even gotten into the spirit cooking part of this aspect. But they hold spirit cooking ceremonies too, and they're all videotaped. So is that part of it, or
So
is
what is
something
that?
going to come out? Spirit cooking, there's two aspects to spirit cooking. Spirit cooking is either an art form. I don't know whether you've heard of Maria Abramovich.
Yes.
She's like a 74-year-old girl or woman that looks like she's 20. And she's trained Lady Gaga and a whole bunch of other people out there. But spirit cooking is a ritual where they'll take breast milk, sperm, what else do they put in that concoction? And they drink it. They will also use foreskins from babies. That's a very important ritual. And then they'll also create images of bodies and eat what looks like a real body, but I'm hoping it's not. But there is a cannibal club in California. There are 2 restaurants in California where you can get human meat.
What?
So it's a thing. It's a thing. You can look it up.
Oh my.
Yeah, the Cannibal Club. You can join the Cannibal Club if you want, out of California. Only in California, I swear to God. But yeah, so, and they video all that too. So if you have that you were at a spirit cooking celebration and all of a sudden that's going to appear if you release, you're probably not going to release. So that's
Wow.
kind of my thought on that. Yeah. There's a weird video that Maria did, and it's supposed to be art form, but she took I think it was pig's blood in buckets, and she was dipping things in and writing on the wall, and the blood was all dripping down, and she had these dolls, babies in the corners, and she was throwing blood at that. Like, it's online, you can see it. It's just the weirdest, most disgusting thing. And you can look it up. It's called Spirit Magic or something, and magic's MAKIC or something like that. No, MAGIK. And it's horrific. It's horrific. I mean, honest to God, guys, I feel like our whole world is run by evil. It totally is. It's evil.
You can. I was looking up, and I apologize. I was looking up the name of the rapper who recently released a video. He was in an interview with another podcaster about what it takes to become famous.
Yeah.
And he was and I'm sorry to the rapper, I could not find his name. He was taken to a mountaintop, and they get up there, and there's all these other people with Ferraris and Bentleys and Bugattis, and he's like, and I don't know the language of rappers these days, but he was something like, "Hey, yo, I want to be like you. I want to get that bag. How do I do that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's easy. You just come go with this guy, and he's going to tell you and do." And he's like, "What does that mean?" And he's like, "Yeah, And it was very similar to what was happening at P. Diddy's house and Jeffrey Weinstein's house on the couch for the actress. And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And something happened, and he was able to get away. But these are the type things that they do to get control of these people, and then they force this into their music about that it's okay to go with. It's okay to do this. It's okay to become that.
Yeah.
It's frightening what people will do for a few minutes of fame. I think Lady Gaga is one of the most talented people in the world. However, I don't think that she got that naturally. I'm sorry. There are too many supernatural elements to her videos and to her music and to the things that she does and the things that she signs when she's speaking that makes me think that that's a bad deal. Even Bob Dylan.
I was about to bring that up, yeah.
Has even said, in an interview on 60 Minutes, said, "Well, I'm still doing this because I made a deal and I'm holding up my end of the bargain." And the guy, and I forget his name, said, "Well, do we need to ask who the deal was made? And he's like, the boss, the head cheese, the boss of this world, and
Yeah.
without saying. And I'm like, who the hell just does that?
When he was even talking about the lyrics that he had written, he was like, I don't know where that came from. He was like,
Right.
I can't do that anymore.
Right.
It's scary,
That same
man.
interview. Yeah. It's so bizarre what people will do for their 15 minutes of fame. And you know what? If they made a choice to make a bad decision, I'm okay with that. Whatever.
Mhm.
You do you, boo. What I'm concerned with are the people like your children where you're at Walmart, the wife's at Walmart shopping, and you come home one child less. And even
Yep.
more so to the people that Angie brought up that doesn't even have a name. They have maybe a number or, oh, that's red because she has red hair. Or that's just, it makes me very disturbed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rein it in here. Sorry.
No, it's true. It is very disturbing. And again, I didn't write the book to exploit any of it because it's not sensationalizing one iota what is happening out there. It's because I need, when you're going through something and then all of a sudden somebody else reaches out that has gone through the same thing and you feel so much better knowing you're not alone. That's what I'm trying to do for these victims. I'm trying to let them know that there are others out there that have gone through the same thing and there is somebody listening. I'm listening and here you are, that's what it's about. It's coming from my heart space 110%.
Absolutely.
It gets me choked up half the time because I literally saved everything my entire life. I would leave the house when I was a kid with my dog. I'd go walking and I'd run back home and say, Mom, I need a box. And she'd be like, oh God, what are you doing now? It was who I always was. So for me, if I could physically go and do the deed and rescue these children, I would. And I wouldn't care if I died doing it. I really wouldn't. But I just don't know how to go about that. So this writing is my ammunition.
Right.
It's me saying to the establishment, F you, I'm not staying silent.
Good. And
Yeah.
if I want to throw this number out again one more time. National Human Trafficking Hotline here in America, and I'm sure at work they will get it to whoever it belongs to, whatever country you're in. We have listeners
Yes.
in almost 80 countries. So 1-888-373-7888, or you can text 233-733. Call, text. If you see something that is crazy, if you see something that just is off kilter, if it doesn't look right, by all means, please call the number. They'll do an investigation. If nothing is it, then nothing has happened. Fine. At least they know.
Yeah.
Just crazy. So, and we've all seen the videos of the hand symbol. Is that real?
Yes. Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
this.
talking about, Jerry? You're looking at me like I'm funny because Jerry never looks at anything like that would remotely look like something that would be entertaining on the internet. If it's not ones and zeros, Jerry's not looking at it. There are videos all over the internet, Jerry, of people doing a hand symbol that if you see that, you know that they're in trouble, that they are not under their own, they're under somebody else's care, and I'm using air quotes, and you need to intervene. What makes me crazy about those videos is how many times they show people that just kind of, it's not my problem, and keep walking. I just want to shake those people.
I know.
And it's all fake, at that point, it's all just to show,
but it's true.
She was started to say something before you went.
Oh, I was just wanting to shake people. I'm sorry. I'm shaking people. I'm a big dude. I like to shake people. They need it. Gosh.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of symbols, there are other symbols to the Masonic symbols. Now, not everyone that's a Mason is bad. Obviously, there are different levels to Mason rituals and whatever. But these guys that are involved, like the big top guys, they're high Masons usually, and they'll have symbols as well that they give. Not for the trafficking necessarily, but just to let you know that they're in the club.
Yeah.
So there's like a pyramid, there's like a, a cover the one eye thing, there's this, they'll do this quite often. So if you look up, you know, famous people doing this symbol, you'll see tons. There's the Red Shoe Club, which is a really disgusting club to be a part of. I don't know that I have to really explain that one to you necessarily, but apparently it's skin from the children who did not make it, and they wear the red shoes. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. And then we didn't even get into the hunting games, but there's hunting games as well.
Oh my gosh.
I talked to a guy who I know he was an actor in LA for a little bit, and he ended up moving back here to Kentucky. And he was talking about how he was telling me that he was never involved with any sort of Illuminati or anything like that, but he would say that he would be at like they were. I guess he had like got told about it from like another actor, and he said after that point he would go to like a ball game and there would be a dude sitting in front of him and like do the symbol at him, and just like and he was like what, and then he would say like he would be talking about it and he would just get a phone call from like a random number. And
Yeah.
he said all this weird stuff started happening, and he said it still happens as he's moved back
Yeah.
to Kentucky, but
Yeah.
And the problem is, and that's why I really do love doing this shows, because we talked about conspiracy theories, we talk about a lot of different things like Bigfoot and things, and all of these people with these stories. But when you start talking about something like this on this big of a scale, like this magnitude, it's all the politicians are involved. It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think that that's especially here in America. I mean, you don't think that all these people who are basically in control of everything are involved in something so awful and evil. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it's
Absolute power corrupts.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We had a case, Angie, here in Kentucky where, and I don't know what side people fall down on. It's not been adjudicated yet, so I'm prematurely jumping the gun here. But in Letcher County, which is in eastern Kentucky, there was a judge who was shot dead, cold dead.
The sheriff shot the judge.
No, I'm getting there.
Okay.
The judge was shot dead by the local sheriff because the sheriff found the judge's number in his 13-year-old daughter's phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the side of the sheriff here.
Me too.
I don't know what happened. I don't need to know what happened. But apparently the messages between the judge and the daughter were enough for a man to give up his career, his standing, his freedom, and everything to protect his daughter. And I'm all with that. And if that happens, they need to be protected. We have laws in the United States, Good Samaritan laws, that protect you when something bad happens when you're trying to do something good.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I think this falls right into those.
I would agree.
If you could leave the audience with one thought about this horrible topic, what would that be?
Please stop looking the other way.
Amen. Amen.
Please. Actually, I know it's very hard, and I know it goes against everything you've ever learned and ever thought our world was about, but please stop looking the other way. This could be your child, it could be your best friend's child, it could be your grandchild, it could be your neighbor's child, it could be anyone's child at any time. And if you look away, it's going to happen more and more and more.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be, it is a child.
It's a child. Yeah.
I mean, to me,
that
that's
should
enough.
matter.
Children have such a hard time in this world. We're the only creature on the planet that has to live with their parent for 18 years.
Yes.
The only one. There's a reason for that.
That's right.
I have to agree with you. I'm pretty sure that I don't know a police officer in my personal sphere of influence that would harbor a resentment to you for making a claim that you thought was legit and turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
At worst, it's nothing, and they've wasted a few minutes of their time following up. At best, you saved somebody's life, and I, I don't know. My heart just breaks for these people and these children, and I can't even imagine what they do to the 16, 17-year-olds when they're no longer useful. What happens to them? Because they're not even human, according to these people.
And by that point, they really aren't. By that point, they've damaged them so beyond, they just don't really ever come out of it. Some do, but some don't. And they often just toss them, and they become so crazy and erratic that people just don't believe their story anyway.
Yeah,
I told you earlier that I fostered for a lot of kids, and I did.
Yeah.
We always did boys because we had boys in the house. We didn't want to bring girls in the house or whatever. I refer back to one child I have there's only been one child I had that I just wanted to take his mom and make her go away for a long time. This young man hadn't seen his mom, and I'm not going to mention names, obviously, but he hadn't seen his mom in over 9 months, 6 to 9 months. And she finally, all she had to do was to see him, was to sign a paper saying, "Hey, I'll follow your plan." That's it.
Wow.
And it took her 9 months to do that. And it was a supervised visit, thank God. And I take him to the local office where he was going to see him. And this woman, and this breaks my heart, after 9 months of not seeing her child, looks at him and says directly to his face, in front of me, in front of everybody, "Well, you've lost weight. I thought you were going to be a fat ass forever."
Oh.
And it was all I could do not to take this woman by the neck and throw her through the plate glass window. And I told the young man, I'm like, "Dude, get back in the car. We're not sitting here with this. This is stupid. She's a nasty bitch." And pardon my French, but that's what I said right in front of her.
That's being polite.
Yeah. And that, compared to what we're talking about tonight, although heartbreaking, is nothing.
Yeah.
Just
that's just verbal. I mean, it's bad, but that's only verbal. And what we're talking about are some of the more extreme limits as far as the physical abuse that you can.
In Angie's book, she gets into the physical traits of what happens to young people when they have adult exposures. The panda eyes, the sunken feeling about being around these kids. They don't even act like kids. They just a shell of a child. If you see somebody with panda eyes, they didn't fall down the damn steps. Make a call.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a phone call immediately to somebody.
Exactly. Now, you'll have people saying that's a conspiracy theory, that doesn't happen. And I'm like, are you daft? Are you kidding me? That is physiologically a thing. Like, that's a thing. It's a real thing. And there were stars. You speak of Lady Gaga. She has pictures of her with panda eyes. I don't know if you've seen that. But, I don't know whether you've ever watched the American Horror Story, but there's one called Hotel with Lady Gaga starring in it. And I swear to God, that thing tells it all. If you watch that, they have these kids lined up with tubes in them, like IVs, sucking out their blood. Like it tells everything. Like my jaw was open when I watched it the whole time.
Brett, you were a teacher, still are a teacher, I guess, but you don't teach. Were there trainings for this?
No, there's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Like
Yeah.
there should be.
I read something recently that I think it was 90 something percent of healthcare workers said they had never been given any training of how to detect this. And it was a huge percentage of the people that said they wanted it, they'd asked for it. So, yeah, if the teachers in the schools aren't being trained, if the
That's the
medical
first
workers
line.
aren't being trained, who is?
The
Who's
teachers
there
are-
to recognize this?
The teachers, on the people that are there for, God, I even hate saying the word breed stock. They're not going to
Yes.
school anyway. But the
No.
average child that is going to school, the teachers are the first line to find that.
Yeah.
Why would they
Yeah.
not be having that? Now, here in Anderson County, we have a very huge scandal. It's probably going to, I don't want to speak out of turn because I know this family intimately. The people, there was a guidance counselor that was grooming a young lady in Anderson County. Became a national news story. How is that not taught? That this is a thing, that this is
Right.
real, that this happens. It's so frustrating to me.
And quite often they will be teachers because they have access to kids.
They have access
Unlimited.
to kids, and there's no training again for all the other teachers to see, hey, that teacher right there, Mr. Sampson, in music is doing bad things.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
And that's what I mean by please keep your eyes open, like stop turning a blind eye because this is happening. And I know it sucks and I know it's awful, but it doesn't make it better by turning a blind eye.
Right.
It doesn't go away by turning a blind eye either. It's still very much there. My small town of Collingwood that I grew up in, it's prevalent. There's a small local airport. It's bad there. Human trafficking and child trafficking. It's bad everywhere. Everywhere.
Do you think it's I mean, I guess I kind of already think I know the answer, but do you think it's just it's so big that it's never going to go away completely? I mean, I guess there's always going to be evil in the world, so there's no way it could go away completely, but I'm just trying to think of even like it seems like it's probably increasing every year. Is there a way we can make it decrease I mean, I know that just, being more aware and raising awareness, having people look for like even just the signs that you were talking about, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they're smart. They're going to pick up that people are picking up on these symbols and
Right,
they'll
and then
probably change them. But the thing is that they'll still be symbols because there's no other way that somebody from this country can go and get that child from that country without a symbol, because otherwise you're not going to know who to go to. So they have to have their symbols. But yeah, I think if they know, see, right now, the big guys at the top of the organization know that most people are turning a blind eye. They know that most people think that it's just a bunch of hokey podokies. So they continue to do it. But if they know that more and more people are waking up to it and more people are believing it is happening, then they know they're being watched. And that will, right there, lower it, in my opinion.
The Ryan Montgomery was recently on the Sean Ryan show, and he is a known hacker, maybe on par with Jerry. I mean, Jerry's pretty good, but he's a known hacker that his whole job is he goes into these sites for child porn and child abuse and gets rid of them. Child pornography, gets rid of them. Not only does he get rid of them, he takes the website because he's so good. He takes the website, he downloads all the list of all the people that have been to the website, and he turns all that over to the FBI. And he's an absolute hero in my book. Now, this guy, if you've never watched the Sean Ryan's show, or if you would like to watch the Sean, I would highly recommend, top notch, former Navy SEAL. Watch the episode number 56 with Ryan Montgomery. Not only is it going to open your eyes to all of he said within 2 clicks he was seeing child pornography on the regular web, not even having to go to the deep web. That is unbelievable.
That's what
to
that's
me.
what they found with Pornhub, and that's why they had to get rid of the majority of their videos, is because
Yeah.
it was just right there.
It's insane.
Well,
Insane.
Facebook has a bunch of it. I reported something that I saw one time, and they came back at me and said this doesn't go against our community standards. What?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I can't talk about how face mask is bullshit, but you can now put, this is
Yeah.
okay. What?
she said face mask is bullshit. She's got my big hearts.
Well, yeah.
What do you think about that, Jerry? I'm just kidding, Jerry. I'm just kidding.
Well, and what he was talking about with the hacker, I mean, it's like I'm a Christian. We always talk about the body of Christ. Not everybody's a hand, not everybody's a foot, not everybody's a head, right? We all have different skills. Like this hacker, he's got obviously a specific set of skills. You as a writer have a set of skills that is bringing awareness to it. So like we can all kind of figure out how we can,
Yes.
how we can help the situation, bring awareness to it, and hopefully, like you said, if
And
more
I'll
people
take-
are knowing about it, then maybe people will be less likely to.
I'll take it a step further. And if you don't find what you're good at to fix this, then shame on you.
Then you're a participant in it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Because listen, I often joke, because I no longer have children in the home, that I'm not a huge fan of kids, especially other people's kids. And that's true. I just don't have kids now. I don't have to deal with them. If they poop their pants, I don't have to fool with it. But there's no excuse for us as a human race to be as evolved as we are to allow this type of behavior on any level to continue in this world, much less the United States or Canada.
Mic drop.
Huh?
100%.
Just that's how I feel about it. And if you're not working actively to prevent it, then you are helping condone it.
100%. And this is why I'm so thankful to you guys for having me on your show and for allowing this conversation to take place, because that isn't something a lot of people be willing to do. So thank you. This is the way that you guys are participating. You're getting it out there, and that's really important. So thank you.
And thank you for being on. Like this has been a great conversation.
Not an easy conversation. Not a lot of laughs on this episode.
And this is probably the longest interview you've ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care. We could go
Oh,
another
really?
hour. I literally, I don't think you can give enough credence to this topic. Every one
totally
of us
agree.
sitting here has some touch of a child in their life. I have grandchildren. Jerry's grandchildren. You have children. At some point, you're going to have grandchildren. I'm sure that Angie has either children or grandchildren or knows children. If you know a child, this should be important to you. There's no excuse. Period. I often lament now that I don't have children at home going to school that I shouldn't pay school tax. I can't say that here because that's false. If you know somebody, and that's just the children. What about the adults? We haven't even got to the adults. We spent an hour on the children part of it. We haven't even talked about the adults who were literally slavery ended America in Lincoln's presidency.
That's when it ended, we thought.
We thought? And we still have slaves in America? What?
And I think you were right, Jerry, when you said about the passports. I think it was you that mentioned the passports, right? I mean, that is one way that they will keep them slavery, sex slaves as well, right?
Yeah, they
'Cause
use it
they
to maintain their
can't go
control.
And then they become Stockholm syndrome as well, because they have nowhere else to go, and they're giving them food, and they're providing, and they're doing whatever, and then they just get to a point where they can't escape. They don't want to escape. Like, you'll see videos literally of these women who at the beginning they're fighting and they're like, get away from me, and by the end they're leaving the car door open, they leave, and the woman just sits in the car. I mean, she could run and she doesn't, right?
I was reading. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was done. I was done.
I was reading somewhere that many of the people who force women into sexual slavery will record them, capture video, and then threaten the women to go to the police and turn them in for the crime. And in a few cases will, just to scare the remaining women. You do what I say, or I will have you arrested and thrown in jail. I've got proof of you committing these acts.
Right. And see, that's what I was saying about the video surveillance on the others as well.
Right? Sure.
It's their MO. There was have you guys heard of Keith Raniere?
No.
No.
He is a guy from Canada, actually, who is in jail now for running a sex cult named Nexim.
Yep.
Yeah. It was out of Toronto.
Wealthy people.
Very wealthy people. And in the area where I live, I found out that the Bronfman family lives around here. They don't live here full time, but they're here quite often. They have ties to Ghislaine Maxwell and to Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell's dad, and the daughter is in jail for funding Nexim. So it's really interesting to me that it's that close, you know?
Jeez.
So close. Yeah. But I feel like he implemented a lot of the traits and I guess all the tactics that they use to mind control these people. You know, they take away their families, they take away everything, and there's a documentary called Seduced, so you guys should watch that. It's really well done on Keith Raniere.
I don't think my heart can take much more, to be honest.
I know.
The good part of his
you don't want to
is,
watch it right away.
if there is such a thing, his is not children. Or there might be some 16, 17-year-olds, but not young. His are mainly adults.
So,
and they made the choice.
Yeah.
And they had a choice. Yeah.
But
let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. This is an important question. Where is, Angie, the hope? I would hate to end this show on all negatives.
Where's the light at the end of the
Where
tunnel?
is the light? What can we do? What is the hope? What is your plan? What do you think we should do to fix this, or at least start the process, at least start the conversation?
again, I think the awareness is where the hope lies, right? In awareness, we allow it to stop. We allow the at least them to slow down. The hope is in the survivors, to me. You know, for them to be able to endure what they did and to come out and speak and really speak their truth, to me, that fills me with hope, to know that they will then empower maybe another one to do the same and to do the same and to do the same. Some are being rescued. There are definitely organizations out there like the Freedom, Sound of Freedom. Tim, what was his name? Tim. Anyway, he does that. That's what he does. He rescues kids in these situations. And so I think there is hope in that book winning the award gives me hope to know that now it's being recognized and actually people are stopping and saying, okay, maybe there's something to this, you know? And I think that the more that we become aware and the more that we all feel and the more that we pray, if you will, even that this situation gets light shone on it instead of being in the dark all the time, I think that gives me hope for sure.
So one thing we do at the end of all of our shows is we always talk about our show's called Newsworthy, and so we always say, "Hey, is this topic news?" I think we could all say this is a very newsworthy topic.
And does it deserve more attention? Yeah. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
So you mentioned a couple of topics. I want to throw these groups out, and then we'll throw that number out one more time, and then we'll end the show tonight. In Kentucky, for instance, and that's where we live, PATH Coalition of Kentucky. PATH focuses on community education, training first responders, and raising awareness to prevent trafficking. International Justice Mission, a global leader in policy reform and justice system training. It works with actually local law enforcement to strengthen anti-trafficking laws throughout to protect vulnerable populations throughout the world. The Exodus Road, it specializes in frontline rescue missions. They train operatives to identify victims, gather evidence, and support local law enforcement in freeing those that are actually trafficked. Over 1,500 individuals have been rescued directly through Exodus Road's interaction. Love Justice International focuses on intercepting victims at transit ports, like Angie mentioned, such as borders and airports. They've stopped over 25,000 potential trafficking cases and arrested over 1,000 traffickers just in doing that at airports.
That's
This,
amazing.
yeah. The Safe House Project, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending, not stopping, not slowing, ending child sex trafficking. They've trained over 400,000 people, supported thousands of survivors, and launched hundreds of safe houses with safe beds all over the United States, including Kentucky. Rafa International offers trauma informed care in state campuses across Thailand, Cambodia, and Haiti. Their programs help survivors deal and help rebuild their lives through a variety of community based supports. And finally, Free the Girls empower survivors, helping them start small businesses, selling bras in local markets, promoting economic independence, and giving them a sense of dignity. If you're looking to join any of these, please reach out to their prospective websites. Uh, I would encourage you to do that anyway. And once again, the National Human Trafficking Hotline here in the United States, 1-888-373-7888, or text them, be free, 233-733. And that is if you see something, you think that it may be human trafficking, call them, text them, even if it's not. That way you can sleep at night. What's the old saying? See something, say something. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Angie Van Cise, please give everybody access to where they can find your book. It is an amazing read. I bought it from Apple Books. But please tell everybody where they can get it, where they can learn more, and where they can reach out to you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you again for having me. And my website has changed. I have a new website. So it's advancise.net. So that's advancise.net. And they can click right on there to buy the book anywhere.
Nice.
So that's probably the best. They can also email me if they have any questions or they want to add anything to my future research that I've missed, because I'm sure I've missed a lot. And if there's any survivors that just need an ear to listen, I'm right there.
Do you have any new projects coming out?
Yeah, I'm working on this. The Hidden in the Shadows is number 1 of 4 books. So I'm working on the second, which starts off with a kidnapping, and it's going to have LJ, who has a Christ consciousness. So he always knew that he was born to go into the organization to manipulate it. So it's going to be a different take. And then on the flip side, his mom's looking for him.
Anytime that you feel like you want to come back on and share your message, please don't hesitate to reach out. You have all of our contacts. We would love to have you back anytime you want to come back.
Well, thank you. I would love to be back. I'd be honored to be back. I've enjoyed your show very much. Listening to it and being on it has been an honor. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah,
thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Man, this has been an interesting episode. If you'll stay tuned, we have a great bonus story after this commercial break.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Buying your first home can be overwhelming, but here are 5 tips to make the process go smoother. Number 1, find a lender, me, Ed Locke, that can answer any questions you might have and help you get pre-approved. There are multiple options available based on your situation. Number 2, work with a real estate agent you can trust. Number 3, don't rush the process. Take your time and know that the process could take some time. Number 4, consider all the costs. Number 5, get a home inspection and review it with your realtor. Keep these tips in mind, budget for yourself, and you'll be that much closer to making your dream of homeownership a reality. So reach out to me at 502-680-0953. NMLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, NMLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is an equal housing opportunity.
Want to suggest future episodes? Share your ghost, cryptid, or personal encounter stories? Or let us know how much you love or hate us. Reach out to us at newsworthywithstephenjerry.com.
And now, back to the story.
Gentlemen, tonight's story will absolutely blow your mind. It began as a routine dive. A professional diver was focused on underwater repairs when he noticed a shadow nearby. An octopus that was just watching him. Nothing unusual until it did something that no one was expecting. When a wrench slipped from his hand, the octopus promptly picked it up and passed it back to him. When a bolt drifted away, the octopus calmly retrieved it. Dive after dive, the same thing happened. The octopus seemed to understand, helping him like a silent partner in the deep. At first, no one believed him, but then he set up cameras, and the footage showed it all. The octopus moving with purpose, collecting tools, gently returning them, not scavenging, not fleeing, actually helping the diver. The video stunned scientists and captivated millions online. Experts called it rare, even extraordinary, but the proof of intelligence and adaptability we are only beginning to grasp. For the diver, though, the meaning was simple. I'm just happy to help. I had help down there, he said. One man, one octopus, two different worlds, and a moment of connection that reminded us that cooperation knows no boundaries. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Ed Locke and U.S. Mortgage, where the home of possibility. Also, it's brought to you by Smoking Gun Jerky of Lincoln, Nebraska. Over 50 different types of jerky for your pleasure, in addition to other things to help you make your jerky at home. Just check them out. And when you do, use code CRYPTID10 for a great discount. And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.